And then things got worse for her, I think, just observing from the outside, was what it must be like for us. We talked about this with Shaka Khan last night. When a singer who's that good suddenly becomes not quite as good at singing and their voice slightly goes. What did you think? I've seen you quoted as saying that that may have been part of her problem.
Well, it happens to every singer, Piers. I mean, nobody at 50 and 60 is what they were at 20 and 30. That's why singers go out and they start doing their songs in their 30s and 40s. They lower the key by half a tone, then another half tone, and then 2 tones, and then by the time they're 55 or 60, it's like you don't even recognize it anymore because the voice is a muscle and it atrophies like every other muscle. And I think she had bad DNA. I think she just got the the bad draw on the DNA, and I don't think it had a lot to do with whatever her other problems.
I mean, how good was her voice at its best?
Better than anybody on the planet.
I mean, literally.
For me.
Has there ever been a better recording voice?
I always said that she was the best singer ever.
I mean, I would put Celine in that category too, and Barbara for me in my world. But
I've heard Tony Bennett say it. Tom Jones has said it. I mean, lots of people have been saying it. I've never heard a better natural singing voice.
Her instincts were beyond. Her instincts to just grab a melody and go, I think I'll do this with it, and it's better than anything you could ever have conjured up.
It's more than just technical. It has. What I mentioned earlier about the pain, she was able to make you feel her words.
Yeah, she was.
No matter what it was.
And part of that may be the gospel background that she had. Yeah. You know, when you're singing in a gospel church regularly and stuff, it's very emotive. I saw that side to her, definitely. You can see that even when she's a young singer in the gospel church. The footage is coming out now. So when psychologically, when that goes, that instrument starts to go, what does it do to a singer? You've worked with all the greats.
Well, it's not even just the voice, but it's, every artist has this span, whether it's 7 or 10 years where they're hitting it hard and heavy. And if you look since the 50s, you can pick any artist from Glenn Campbell to Helen Reddy to Lionel Richie to Diana Ross to Barry Manilow to whatever. And then all of a sudden, boom, the hits just stop. And the next generation moves in.
But it must be desperately hard for the singer.
Not hard for everybody, but it's hard for some people, for sure. They can't handle it.
I mean, did you speak to Whitney after things began to go with her voice? Do you know how she felt about it?
Didn't really talk about it.
We dealt with it.
Yeah, you just dealt with it.
Was it just like the unmentionable?
You just made a record and you went in there and made the best record you could make. You weren't going to go for the higher notes as much. You were still going to push for what you could get out of it, and that's the best that you could do. It is a hard thing to deal with, and I'm sure she had to deal with it. She didn't talk about it, but I'm sure she had to deal with it. She had to know it every day, but she still, it's not like she stopped. She kept singing.
Kenny,